Imagine rulers so powerful that their lives blurred the line between man and God. Emperors who feasted on pearls dissolved in wine, built palaces larger than cities, and commanded armies of servants just to maintain their daily rituals. For them, luxury was not only indulgence, it was a weapon of power, a symbol of divine right, and a stage upon which they performed their greatness. Their wealth stunned subjects, intimidated rivals, and left behind monuments that still glitter today. These rulers lived in a world where gold was furniture, jewels were playthings, and entire nations bent under the weight of their extravagance. When Rome burned in 64 CE, Emperor Nero seized the tragedy as an opportunity to display his taste for the spectacular. Rising from the ashes was his Domus Aurea, or Golden House, a palace so immense and dazzling that it shocked even Roman elites. Stretching across 200 acres, it included artificial lakes, vast gardens, and entire dining halls covered in gold leaf. Ceilings were studded with ivory and precious stones, while walls glittered with mosaics and frescoes of gods and myths. One banquet hall was built on a revolving platform, rotating as guests feasted so they could marvel at the ever-changing scenery. Perfumed fountains misted the air, while hidden mechanisms showered diners with petals. Imported delicacies, flamingo tongues, sea urchins, and exotic wines flowed endlessly, while musicians and actors performed to entertain the emperor's guests. For China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, sought not just wealth in life, but unimaginable luxury in death. Obsessed with immortality, he united the warring states in 221 BCE and immediately began construction on a mausoleum that would secure his rule forever. Guarding the tomb is the awe-inspiring Terracotta Army, over 8,000 life-size soldiers, horses, and chariots, each with unique faces, hairstyles, and armor. These clay warriors were meant to defend him in the afterlife, standing in perfect formation beneath the earth. Ancient texts describe rivers of mercury flowing through the tomb to mimic real waterways, ceilings painted with stars to reflect the heavens, and miniature palaces filled with treasures. Engineers reportedly installed deadly traps to stop intruders, ensuring the emperor's eternal rest. To this day, the central chamber remains sealed, out of fear that opening it could destroy its contents or release dangerous mercury vapor. In 17th century France, Louis XIV, the Sun King, turned luxury into politics. His transformation of Versailles from a simple hunting lodge into Europe's most opulent palace was a performance of power on an unimaginable scale. The palace stretched endlessly, with 700 rooms, 67 staircases, and more than 2,000 windows. Its most famous space, the Hall of Mirrors, glittered with 357 mirrors reflecting golden chandeliers and candlelight, creating a spectacle that dazzled nobles and foreign ambassadors alike. The gardens of Versailles covered nearly 2,000 acres, filled with sculpted fountains, groves, and canals so vast that naval battles were staged for entertainment. Life at court revolved around ritual. Waking the king was a ceremony, eating in public was an event, and even handing Louis his shirt was considered an honor. Nobles who once challenged royal power were now trapped in a gilded cage, spending fortunes to keep up appearances at Versailles. Mughal Emperor Akbar, who ruled India from 1556 to 1605, combined conquest with culture, ruling from a court that glowed with wealth. His capital at Fatehpur Sikri was a city of red sandstone palaces, adorned with marble inlays, delicate carvings, and sprawling courtyards. Akbar's throne was set with precious gems, while elephants clad in armor studded with jewels paraded through his city. His treasury overflowed with gold, pearls, and emeralds gathered from across Asia, and his robes shimmered with threads of silver and gold. But Akbar's luxury was not only in material wealth, it was in spectacle. His court became a gathering place for poets, philosophers, and artists from Persia, Arabia, and Europe, blending cultures into one of the richest intellectual centers of its time. Banquets overflowed with delicacies, from rare fruits to spiced meats, while musicians played and dancers entertained. The emperor often appeared in garments that sparkled under sunlight, dazzling both subjects and visiting envoys. Few rulers understood the power of spectacle like Cleopatra VII, the last queen of Egypt. Ancient writers describe her as arriving to meetings in a barge with gilded sterns, purple sails, and silver oars that glistened in the sun, while servants fanned her with peacock feathers perfumed with incense. Her palace at Alexandria was filled with marble halls, mosaics, golden couches, and furniture encrusted with jewels. Banquets became displays of unimaginable extravagance. She once dissolved a priceless pearl in vinegar and drank it, simply to prove that she could consume a fortune in a single sip. Cleopatra's luxury was not merely indulgence, it was strategy. When she met Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony, she appeared draped in jewels, dressed as the goddess Isis, transforming herself into living divinity. Her ships carried silks, perfumes, and treasures that overwhelmed even Roman generals used to excess. The Roman Emperor Caligula, notorious for madness and excess, turned luxury into spectacle. He ordered floating palaces, massive ships on Lake Nemi, fitted with marble floors, heating systems, gardens, and even temples. These were not warships, but pleasure barges, floating islands of indulgence. His banquets featured endless courses of exotic meats, rare fish, and spiced wines, often served on gold plates that he tossed into the sea to show his disdain for wealth. He demanded pearls dissolved in vinegar to be consumed as drinks, echoing Cleopatra's extravagance. Caligula's palace floors were said to be sprinkled with gold dust, and he built bridges of boats across bays just to ride his chariot over water. His horses were fed oats mixed with gold flakes, and one horse, Incitatus, reportedly had a marble stable and was nearly appointed consul. For Caligula, luxury became madness, a tool not only to shock but to prove that nothing was beyond his command. 19th century India, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the Lion of Punjab, sat upon a throne of solid gold. Crafted in 1820, the throne was shaped like a lotus, covered with intricate designs and encrusted with jewels. Ranjit Singh ruled a kingdom of immense wealth, with treasuries overflowing with gems such as the famous Koh-i-Noor diamond. His court was a world of silk carpets, jewel-studded weapons, and elephants adorned with golden howdahs. Feasts showcased mountains of fruits, sweets, and delicacies served on silver and gold dishes. But his throne was the symbol of it all, an object that reflected divine kingship and absolute authority. Surrounded by musicians, dancers, and nobles, Ranjit Singh turned courtly life into a theater of wealth. Today, his golden throne sits in a museum, still radiating the brilliance of a ruler who believed power must always shine brighter than the sun. His reign was not just about conquest, it was about creating an image of majesty through extreme luxury. From Nero's Golden House to Jahangir's perfumed courts, emperors across history used luxury as a stage to display power. Their palaces, thrones, and ceremonies were more than personal indulgence. They were symbols of divine authority, meant to dazzle subjects and intimidate rivals. Some built monuments that still stand, others consumed treasures that disappeared forever, but all revealed the human drive to show greatness through extravagance. Luxury is fragile, just like power.